I came to in the body of Ethan Reed, the designated villain and senior disciple in some fantasy novel, just moments before I was supposed to be poisoned by my junior. As I stared into the abyss of my new, very short life, a line of text floated in front of my eyes. Incoming high-tier plot point. The junior sister poisoned the tea. Run, MC. The master is about to frame you. WTF. This villain is actually smart. He's going to fake it. Pog. The teacup in my hand trembled. Okay, so maybe I wasn't the villain. Maybe I was the savior the live chat appointed. The comments frantically spoiled the entire plot. The hero goes dark side and ends the world, and our revered master goes insane and slaughters a city. And me? I was apparently the only one who could stop them. Ethan, do you know your crime? My master sword would one day be pointed at me. I'd just smile and say, Master, the comments already show me the highlight reel of you going full psycho. Senior brother Ethan, have some tea. You must be thirsty. Ava's voice was sickeningly sweet. She held out a delicate jade teacup with both hands, the clear liquid inside reflecting her innocent, smiling face. You've worked so hard for the Celestial Summit lately, she added, pushing it a little closer. Her fingertips were trembling slightly. I stared at that cup. Alarm bells were screaming in my head. In the original story, this was the exact cup of tea that sent Ethan Reed to his grave. And now I was sitting in the death seat. The air was thick with a sweet, cloying fragrance, mixed with the faint chill that seemed to radiate from Ava herself. This cup of tea was a death warrant. Senior brother? Ava called out again, a hint of urgency in her eyes. It was like a baited hook dipped in venom. I forced a smile. How thoughtful of you, junior sister. My hand reached for the jade cup. My fingers felt like ice. Was this really it? Was I going to die the second I got here? Just as my fingers were about to touch the cool ceramic, several lines of semi-transparent text burst into my vision. OMG, here we go. The classic poisoning scene. Warning. Warning. Teeth is poisoned. Viper's kiss concentrate. Fantasy edition. Ethan, get out of there. Don't drink it. She wants you dead. The shimmering letters rippled and vanished like burst soap bubbles. My pupils constricted. What the hell was that? Was I hallucinating? Senior brother? Ava's voice was laced with confusion now. She stared at my hand, frozen in midair. The tea will get cold. Her smile was as pure as ever, but a flicker of something cold and dark passed through her eyes. The strange text scrolled past again. Don't just freeze, dude. The chat already gave you the spoilers. Fake it. Fake being poisoned. Yeah, play dead. Stall for time. The chat? Spoilers? My heart hammered against my ribs. Were these things trying to help me? Time was running out. I had a bet on it. I snatched the teacup. How could I refuse such a kind gesture from my dear junior sister? I said, keeping my voice as steady as I could. I tilted my head back and drained the clear liquid in one go. A burning sensation seared my throat. Ava's lips curved into a silent, triumphant smile. Clang! The cup slipped from my grasp, shattering into 1,000 pieces on the polished stone floor. The sharp sound echoed through the hall. Ack! I clutched my throat, my body starting to convulse violently before I pitched backward, stiff as a board. The tea is poisoned. I choked out the last words as my vision swam and faded to black. My consciousness sank into a chaotic, churning sea. Ava's completely fake, terrified scream ripped through the air. Senior brother. What's wrong? Senior brother. Help. Somebody help. Senior brother Ethan has been poisoned. A flurry of footsteps rushed in from outside. I kept my eyes closed, focusing all my senses on my hearing. Did I win the bet? My consciousness drifted in and out like a drowning man bobbing in the waves. The world was a cacophony of noise. His pulse is erratic. The poison is already attacking his heart. What a potent toxin. Ava, did you give this tea to Ethan? That last voice was cold and authoritative, carrying the heavy weight of a coming storm. It was my master, Valerius. In the novel, he'd quickly discover that I was the one who tried to poison someone and failed. Then he'd execute me to cleanse the sect. My eyeballs twitched beneath their lids. Where was the chat? I needed intel. Master, I don't know. Ava was sobbing, a real waterfall of tears. I brewed the tea, but I swear I don't know anything. Senior brother has always treated me like his own sister. Why would I ever harm him? Her performance was flawless, worthy of an Oscar. A new set of comments floated into view like ghosts. And here we go. The classic blame shift. Hang in there, Ava. The hero, Leo, is on his way with the evidence to save you. Yep, the little vial of poison he's going to plant on Ethan is en route. Whoa, this villain, Ethan, is a great actor. His eyelids just moved. You guys think he can see us? Now, a vial? Planting evidence? My heart sank. What a vicious, layered scheme. I had to find a way out of this. Search. Master Valerius's voice was sharp as steel. Search Ethan's quarters. Leave no stone unturned. The frantic footsteps rushed away again. They were going to get the proof. I didn't have much time. I summoned every last ounce of my strength. My finger, hidden by my side on the cold floor, twitched. I dragged it ever so slightly across the stone. The faint scrapey of my nail was almost inaudible. It was the only signal I could give. I hoped someone would notice. Master, a clear, urgent voice echoed into the hall. It was Leo. The hero had arrived, carrying his carefully prepared, irrefutable proof. In a hidden compartment in senior brother Ethan's room. I found this. His voice was laced with manufactured shock and grief. A small, cold object was presented. An empty vial of blackroot toxin. Blackroot toxin, the very poison I was supposedly dying from. The hall fell into a dead silence, punctuated only by Ava's now much louder, wrongfully accused sobs. Master Valerius said nothing. A crushing pressure filled the room. Murder was in the air. Insolent whelp. Valerius's roar was like a thunderclap, aimed directly at my unconscious form. Ethan, as the senior disciple, how could you resort to such a despicable, filthy scheme? Poisoning your own, framing your junior sister. You deserve death. A terrifying wave of power, as real and heavy as a mountain, slammed down on me. It was ice cold and radiating pure, unadulterated killing intent. This was it. He bought it. He was going to kill me. What do I do? Master, calm yourself. Leo's earnest voice cut in. Senior brother. Senior brother was perhaps just confused for a moment. I beg you, Master, for the sake of your many years as his teacher, show him mercy. He was pretending to plead for me, but every single word hammered another nail into my coffin, confirming my guilt. He was just pouring gasoline on the fire. Ava's sobbing provided the perfect background music. The chat was a blur of frantic text. Damn, that finishing blow from the hero was savage. Ethan's in deep trouble. If he doesn't wake up now, it's GG. You're overdoing the whole playing dead thing, dude. Get up and defend yourself. This is killing me. Can a villain have a high IQ just this once? Defend myself? With what evidence? My mind raced. Master Valerius's spiritual pressure intensified, a cold iron band squeezing the life out of me. My consciousness began to fray under the weight. No, I couldn't die. I bit down on my tongue hard. The sharp pain jolted my nerves, and I focused the last of my energy. Ugh! A pained groan escaped my lips. My eyelids fluttered, then slowly, agonizingly, peeled open. The light was blinding. Every eye in the hall, shocked, suspicious, cold, snapped to my pale face. I was now the eye of the storm. Ethan, Valerius's icy voice held a trace of surprise. You're awake? The pressure lessened slightly, but his gaze was still as sharp as a sword, boring straight into my soul. What do you have to say for yourself? This was my chance. I gasped for air, my voice a broken, hoarse whisper. Mas. Tir. My eyes scanned the room. I saw Ava, the triumph in her eyes vanishing in a flash. I saw Leo, his brow furrowed in a look of calculating scrutiny. Finally, my gaze landed, with great effort, on Master Valerius's face. The poison. Was it? Me. The vial. Is not. Mine. Master, I've been framed. Framed. Valerius sneered. He flicked his sleeve, and the cold, empty vial clattered onto the floor in front of my face. The evidence is undeniable. It was found in your room. How do you explain that? Explain? I laughed coldly inside, but my gaze drifted weakly toward Leo. Now, junior brother. Leo's body went rigid for a split second. Senior brother. What is it? You said. The vial. was in a hidden compartment. Which one? I asked, my voice barely a whisper. The one beneath the third blue flagstone, on the west wall. Leo answered quickly, but a flicker of panic crossed his eyes. The chat exploded. WTF? Why is Ethan asking that? Plot twist? Is there something wrong with the hidden spot? OMG, I'm so nervous. Is the villain finally making a move? I managed a ghastly smile. I forced my arm up, my hand trembling as I pointed vaguely toward the side of the hall. My quarters have never had a west wall. The room only has east, south, and north. 3 walls. My voice wasn't loud, but it landed like a boulder dropped into a silent lake. Boom! The shockwave was immense. What? Master Valerius's pupil shrank. The color drained from Leo's face. Ava's sobbing stopped dead. The entire hall plunged into a bizarre, suffocating silence. You could hear a pin drop. The only sound was my own ragged, difficult breathing. The chat went insane. Holy S! The plot twist of the century. Ethan, you legend. Leo is so busted El Mayo. He made up the wrong hiding spot. Does this villain have freaking psychic powers? How do you know Leo would say the West Wall? This is epic. Let them fight. Let them fight. Valerius whipped his head around, his gaze like 2 bolts of lightning striking Leo. Thou! His voice was low, seething with a volcano of rage. Explain yourself. Where did that vial come from? The crushing pressure returned, but this time it was 10 times more terrifying. Heavy as a mountain, scorching as fire, it locked onto Leo. Leo was white as a sheet, cold sweat beading on his forehead as he started to shake uncontrollably. My master! He dropped to his knees with a thud. I, he stammered, his terrified eyes darting around before landing desperately on Ava. It was a look that pleaded for help, mixed with a hint of venom. Ava flinched under his gaze and took an involuntary step back, her own face deathly pale. It was over. Their little alliance was cracking. The chat kept scrolling. Oh, they're about to turn on each other. Leo, junior sister, help me. Ava, don't you dare drag me into this. Master is pissed. This is terrifying. Is Ethan going to win this just by lying on the floor? El Mayo, speak. Valerius took a step forward, and the very air in the hall seemed to solidify. The pressure was suffocating. Who told you to do this? To frame your own brother. Every word was a hammer blow to Leo's chest. He trembled like a leaf in the wind. It was. His lips quivered, his eyes flicking back to Ava, full of conflict and fear. Ava immediately looked down, avoiding his gaze, her fingers twisting the hem of her robes so tightly her knuckles were white. It was. Leo seemed to have made his decision. He was about to speak. Enough! A cold female voice cut through the tension, echoing from the entrance of the hall and silencing Leo. Everyone startled, turning to look. A tall, solitary figure in black stood in the shadows of the doorway. She seemed to be one with the darkness, an iceberg given human form. She stepped into the light. Her face was severe and beautiful, her eyes as sharp as daggers. Her gaze swept over the room before finally landing on my pathetic form on the floor, a hint of curiosity in them. It was the head of the disciplinary hall, Master Serafina, the incorruptible judge from the original novel. The chat went wild again. Master Serafina is here. The drama just leveled up. Whoa, the way she's looking at Ethan is interesting. Is there a hidden backstory? I don't understand this plot anymore. Awesome. This is getting better and better. Hang in there, Ethan. Greetings, Master Serafina. Everyone in the hall bowed, the atmosphere growing even heavier. Serafina gave a slight nod, her eyes locking directly onto Valerius. Master Valerius, she said, her voice flat and devoid of emotion. This case is full of inconsistencies. Are you truly about to sentence your own head disciple to death based on a piece of obviously planted evidence and one person's testimony? The disciplinary hall is not dead yet. Her words were like icicles, piercing through Valerius's bubble of rage. He scowled. Serafina, it is a fact that this disciple is dying from poison. Serafina cut him off, pointing at me. It is also a fact that the origin of the planted vial is questionable. the priority right now. Her icy gaze shifted to Ava and Leo, as if looking at two inanimate objects, is to apprehend the suspects, interrogate them separately, and perform a soul scan. The truth will reveal itself. A soul scan. Ava and Leo went completely limp, their faces turning the color of ash as they collapsed to the floor. Under a soul scan, no secret could remain hidden. It was a fate worse than death. The chat completely lost it. Soul scan. They're playing for keeps. Serafina is such a badass. I love her. Ava and Leo literally just wet themselves. Ethan, I'm just going to lie here and watch you all self-destruct. Is this it? Is the villain about to be cleared? Don't count on it. I feel like the master is about to rage quit. Valerius's expression shifted, his eyes fixed on Serafina. A complex storm of emotions churned in their depths. Anger? Fear? Or was that a flicker of something dark? Demonic energy? A few ominous comments flashed by. Wait a sec. Something feels off about the master. Plus, his eyes look psycho. High-level plot alert. I think the master is about to go dark side. No way. Master Valerius' corruption arc starting now. My heart dropped like a stone. Master Valerius. Corrupted? The chat. Could be right. A soul scan. Ava shrieked, all the blood draining from her face. Leo was shaking so hard his teeth chattered. No, Master, I'm innocent. He scrambled towards Valerius. Master, Master, save me. Valerius's face was terrifyingly dark. That sinister red glow deep in his eyes seemed to intensify. The chat's warnings became frantic. Red alert. Master's corruption meter is spiking. Holy yes. He's really going dark. Master Serafina, get out of there. Ethan, watch out. He's going to kill the witnesses. Oomph. A cold snort, filled with a chilling malice, escaped Valerius's lips. Master Serafina, he rasped, the disciplinary hall is overstepping its bounds. This is an internal matter of my own disciples. It is not your place to interfere. Before he even finished speaking, a wave of power far more terrifying than before erupted from him. It reeked of blood and violence, and it was aimed directly at Master Serafina. Brother? Serafina's pupils shrank. She clearly never expected Valerius to attack her directly. She hastily threw up a defense, a shimmering shield of ice forming around her. Boom! The violent collision of energy shook the entire hall. A shockwave blasted outwards, sending me flying. I slammed hard against a pillar, a sweet, metallic taste filling my mouth. Pah! I spat out a mouthful of blood, my insides feeling like they'd been rearranged. I looked up through the swirling dust to see Master Valerius wreathed in black, corrupt energy, his eyes glowing a malevolent red. He's really been corrupted? I thought in horror. The chat confirmed my worst fears. It's over. Master has gone full dark side. Serafina is hurt. Poor thing. Ethan, do something. You're the savior. Savior? He can barely save himself right now. Chat shield, activate. Give US some hints, damn it. Brother, you've actually fallen to the darkness. Serafina wiped a trickle of blood from her lip, her expression colder than 1,000 winters. A long sword made of pure, crystallized ice formed in her hand. Surrender now, and come with me to see the Grand Master. Ha 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 ha! Valerius let out a maniacal laugh, the dark energy around him churning. The Grand Master? That old fossil can't even save himself. This world will soon belong to me. And all of you. Vildi. He thrust his hand forward. A claw made of pure, inky darkness tore through the air, lunging for Serafina with terrifying force. Master, look out! I yelled, my heart in my throat. The chat was a waterfall of text. Weakness. Where's the weakness? Check the chat logs. The novel says dark energy is weak to pure sun fire. Ethan, use fire. You have a fire affinity. Fire. My mind snapped into focus. That's right. The original Ethan had a dual fire and wood affinity. I was weak from the poison, but I could risk it all on one shot. Just break. I roared under my breath, squeezing the last dreg of power from my core and converting it all into pure fire energy. A tiny, blindingly bright spark of golden-red fire ignited at my fingertip. It was small, but it pulsed with an aura of pure, searing heat. Go! I flicked my finger. The spark shot through the air like a kamikaze moth, aimed right for Valerius's back. Valerius sensed it instantly. His dark claw faltered, and his crimson eyes snapped towards me. Insolentant, you seek death. He sent a tendril of dark energy snaking towards me. I'm dead. I thought, my blood running cold. Ethan, dodge left. The chat screamed. I reacted on pure instinct, throwing myself to the left in a desperate roll. SSSS. The dark energy serpent grazed my arm, leaving a blackened, sizzling burn. The pain was excruciating, but the spark of fire I had launched had successfully made contact with the edge of his swirling dark aura. TSSSS. It was like dropping water in a boiling oil. The dark energy hissed and boiled, releasing a puff of foul-smelling smoke. Valerius grunted in pain, his attack faltering for another critical second. Now, Master Seraphina's eyes flashed. Her combat instincts were razor-sharp. She wouldn't miss a once-in-a-lifetime opening like this. Glacial prison. The ice sword in her hand erupted with a bone-chilling light, instantly expanding into a massive pillar of enchanted ice. With the will to freeze all creation, it plunged directly into the roiling mass of dark energy around Valerius's chest. The timing was absolutely perfect. No. Valerius roared in shock and fury, hastily trying to defend himself as his dark energy coalesced. Boom! The ultimate collision of ice and darkness. The explosion ripped through the hall, sending shrapnel and dust everywhere. Ugh! Arg! Two grunts of pain sounded at once. Master Seraphina was thrown backward, her face as pale as parchment. But Valerius was worse off. His chest had been pierced clean through by the ice sword, leaving a gaping, frozen wound the size of a dinner plate. Dark energy bled from him like smoke. Arg! You will all die, he howled like a wounded beast, his voice dripping with venom. But his aura was visibly weakening. He was critically injured. Master! I scrambled over, ignoring the searing pain, and helped the staggering Seraphina to her feet. Are you okay? I'm Fina. Not dead yet. She coughed up a mouthful of blood mixed with ice shards, but her gaze remained sharp, fixed on the center of the dust cloud. His core is damaged. But he's not dead. We have to finish him. She tried to stand on her own, but didn't have the strength. I'll do it. A vicious look crossed my face. Kick him while he's down. Villains die because they monologue. A savior who doesn't confirm the kill is just a future corpse. I grabbed a jagged, broken piece of an ice stalagmite from the floor and staggered towards the swirling cloud of darkness. The chat cheered me on. Go, Ethan. Finish him. Get him. Right in the kidneys. You could do it. Kill the final boss. Go get him. You old bastard. I yelled, using every bit of strength I had left to lunge forward, ramming the sharp shard of ice deep into the center of the dark energy. Thump! A muffled sound. It went in. I hit him. Gah! Valerius let out a blood-curdling scream. The dark energy churned violently, and a withered, demonic claw shot out of the dust, clamping down on my neck. Cold. Suffocating. You little maggot. His venomous voice was right next to my ear. I'll annihilate your very soul. It's over. The power gap is too big. My vision went black at the edges. Consciousness was fading. Ethan! Seraphina cried out, unable to move to help. The chat was a wall of despair. No. Where's the plot armor? Think of something. Chat, think of something. Panicked. Just as the life was being crushed out of me, a blinding golden light exploded in my vision. Countless golden comments, more than I'd ever seen, scrolled frantically across my view. Warning. World-ending threat detected. Highest priority access unlocked. Core data transfer initiated. Demon's Bane. At the bottom of the chasm of souls. Only the chosen of fate may wield it. Prevent the apocalypse. Stop him. Coordinates. The northern wastes. The chasm of souls. Ethan. You are the chosen savior. Use your blood. Awaken it. The flood of information was brutally shoved into my brain. Demon's Bane? The chasm of souls? The chosen of fate? Blood? My blood! Eorg! Valerius suddenly screamed, even louder. The demonic claw on my neck recoiled, as if it had been branded by a hot iron, sizzling and smoking as he yanked it back. He stared at me in absolute terror, as if seeing something truly horrifying. The aura of fate itself? No. Impossible. What? What are you? His corrupted body trembled. The wound I'd stabbed with the ice shard now had faint golden tendrils of light eating away at his dark energy. The chat exploded. WTF. Plot armor activated. Ethan's blood has a purifying effect. Fate Daddy has entered the chat, waving excitedly. The old demon is scared. He's scared. This was my chance. The only one I get. Master. Now. I roared, and with the last of my strength, I slammed my wrist against the broken ice shard still buried in his chest. Blood gushed out, carrying a faint golden shimmer, and splattered all over Valerius's wound. No. The golden blood was like acid, dissolving his demonic form. Valerius thrashed in agony, his dark energy rapidly dissipating. Now is the time. A cold light flared in Seraphina's eyes. She forced out one last burst of power, pointing 2 fingers like a sword. A beam of impossibly concentrated ice energy, like the sigh of death itself, shot through the air and pierced the center of the dark vortex on Valerius's forehead. No! With a final, desperate roar of defiance, Valerius's body bloated violently and then exploded, disintegrating into a cloud of ash. All that remained was a deep, smoking pit in the floor and a profound silence. The chat went blank for a second, then erupted in a deafening roar. We won. The old demon is toast. Ethan is a legend. Seraphina is a legend. Savior. You earn the title. Shining bright. Thud. I couldn't hold on any longer. I collapsed, my body screaming in pain. The blood loss made the world spin. Ethan. Seraphina managed to drag herself to my side and pushed a pill into my mouth. Stay with me. The pill dissolved instantly, a warm current spreading through me, just enough to keep my heart beating. Master. The chat. I whispered weakly. Demon's Bane. The chasm of souls. And fate. Master Seraphina looked at me with a complicated expression. I saw them too. She murmured. Those golden words. It seems the prophecies were true. The real catastrophe hasn't even started yet. She gazed northward, her eyes grave. Lau and Ava, they escape, she added, her voice turning to ice. They're a threat. The chat stirred back to life. Damn, they let those 2 get away. Main quest updated. Find Demon's Bane. Final boss is definitely going to be Darkside Leo, right? Ethan, get well soon. The path of the Savior is long. Progression Fantasy Savior. I'm rooting for you. Carrot. Epilogue 3 months later. The edge of the northern wastes. The wind cut like a razor. I pulled my thick cloak tighter, staring down into the bottomless chasm of souls before me. It was shrouded in a black, silent mist. This is the place, Master Seraphina said, standing beside me. Her injuries had mostly healed. Demon's Bane lies at the bottom. Only one who carries the mark of fate, using their blood as a key, can awaken it. She looked at me. Are you ready? I took a deep breath. The frigid air stung my lungs, but it cleared my head. I'm ready. I nodded, my gaze firm. A familiar line of text floated past. Jump. The next chapter starts when you jump. Your plot armor has been recharged. You'll be fine. Go, Ethan. You're the best. The fate of the world is riding on you. Let's go. Let's do this. A small smile touched my lips. I took a running start and leaped into the endless, dark abyss. Below me lay Demon's Bane, the unfinished path of a savior, and a fated showdown with the corrupted hero of this world. But this time, I wasn't some stupid villain. I was Ethan Reed, the savior appointed by the chat. A blood-curdling scream echoed from the bottom of the windy chasm of souls. Oh, come on. Who the hell paved the bottom of an abyss with river stones? I landed face first in a spectacularly clumsy heap, nearly chipping a tooth. The chat was scrolling faster than the black mist could swirl. LMAO. Is this how the chosen one is supposed to make an entrance? Submit this to funniest fantasy fails right now. He stepped in it. Look at his hand. I slowly craned my neck down. My palm was smeared with something green and steaming. Next to it, a small, fluffy creature stared at me with huge, innocent eyes, a matching green smear on the tip of its tail. I silently wiped my hand on a rock. Okay, that's enough out of you guys. What's wrong with stepping in poop? It's good luck. Right. Stepping in it means your luck is about to turn. The fluffy creature. Am I a joke to you? Incoming. Demon's Bane is about to make its grand entrance. Just as the comment appeared, the ground began to tremble. A brilliant golden red light pierced the darkness, shooting toward the sky. The light pulsed with an aura of absolute power and a hint of disdain. The light faded, revealing a sword of pure crimson, its tassel flickering like a flame, hovering in mid-air. Two ancient words were carved into the blade, Demon's Bane. Just as I was expecting some cool sword chooses its master moment, a sharp, incredibly smug voice echoed in my head. TCH, this is it. Your spiritual energy is as weak as a first-year apprentice, and your blood smells like old medicine. Is fate going blind? Picking a scrub like you to be the savior. The chat. Haha, the sword is roasting you. You gonna take that? Show him who's boss. I recommend singing We Are the Champions. Or maybe a magical equivalent. My twitched. I ignored the arrogant sword spirit and reached into my coat, pulling out one of the sustenance wafers Master Seraphina had given me. This one was honey lavender flavored, a delicacy that was supposedly priceless back at the sect. The moment the wafer was out, Demon's Bane began to vibrate violently, its light flaring. Wait, is that smell? A honey lavender sustenance wafer? The sword spirit's voice shot up several octaves, laced with a desperate urgency. Quick, let me smell it. No, let me taste it. I raised an eyebrow, holding the wafer up high. Taste it? Your sword. How are you going to taste it? Idiot. Press the wafer against the blade, the spirit urged. That old demon Valerius never gave me so much as a piece of candy. Just force-fed me dark energy day in and day out. I'm so sick of it. I did as it said. The moment the honey lavender wafer touched the blade, Demon's Bane let out a contented hum, and its golden red light enveloped me. Ding! Congratulations, host. You have been accepted by Demon's Bane. Sword Spirit loyalty, 100%, bribed with snacks, skill unlocked. Chat energy conversion, 5 minutes of charging for 2 hours of demon slaying. I looked at the sword, which was still happily licking the essence of the wafer, and couldn't help but ask, are you sure you're a legendary demon-slaying sword? And not just a glorified foodie? The sword spirit was indignant. What's wrong with being a foodie? A foodie will never betray you, which is more than I can say for those hypocrites who talk about saving the world while stabbing you in the back. While we were bickering, a worried shout echoed from above. Ethan, where are you? It was Seraphina. My heart leaped. Before I could answer, I heard the screeching of beasts. Looking up, I saw Seraphina surrounded by a swarm of dark, winged creatures, abyssal bats. Her ice sword was effective, but there were too many, and her cloak was already torn in several places. Master, over here, I shouted, activating my new chat energy skill. Demon's Bane shot upwards like a flaming comet. Pathetic little bats, you dare show your faces before me? The sword spirit's voice boomed. Wherever its fiery energy passed, the bats turned to ash. Seraphina landed beside me, the tension in her shoulders finally easing when she saw I was okay. But when her eyes fell on the still unclean smear on my palm, a flicker of amusement crossed her cool expression, and the tips of her ears turned a faint pink. Whoa, Master Seraphina is blushing. The iceberg is melting. A once-in-a-century event. Seraphina. He's a complete mess, but why is that kind of cute? I felt a sudden awkwardness and quickly hid my hand behind my back. Master, why did you come down here? It's dangerous. Seraphina looked away, her voice regaining its usual coolness, but with an undercurrent of warmth I couldn't miss. I was afraid you'd die at the bottom of a hole, leaving the world-saving business unfinished. Lies. She was just worried about him. Just confess already. Don't hold it in. Go for it, Ethan. Went over the Ice Queen. I glanced at the chat, then at Seraphina's pink ears, and suddenly the abyss didn't seem so dark and gloomy anymore. 3 months later, at the gates of the Celestial Summit, Leo and Ava stood on a high platform, accepting the praise of the assembled cultivators, dressed in white, one looking dashing and the other pitifully lovely. They spun a tale of how they had slain the demon Valerius and saved the sect, acting every bit the heroes. "Fellow cultivators," Leo announced, his voice booming with pride, "Ethan Reed colluded with demons and has fallen to his death in the abyss. Ava and I will carry on his legacy and protect the world." Just then, a mocking voice cut through the air. "Oh, carry on my legacy? Does that legacy include returning the dark artifact you stole to the demon prince?" All heads turned to see me, with Demon's Bane slung over my shoulder, walking up the path with Seraphina at my side. I was dressed casually, a smirk on my face. Trailing behind me was another junior disciple, clutching a bag of snacks. Lily, the cannon fodder character Leo had abandoned long ago. The color drained from Leo and Ava's faces. "Ethan, you're not dead," Ava shrieked, her eyes instantly welling up with tears. "Senior brother, how could you slander us? We did everything for the sect." "Slander?" I chuckled, tapping Demon's Bane's blade. "Sword Spirit, play the recording." "You got it." The sword's voice echoed for all to hear. A crystal-clear conversation followed. "Leo, my love, as soon as we kill Ethan and frame Valerius, the Celestial Summit will be ours. Don't worry, Ava. I've already slipped a demonic catalyst into Valerius's tea. He'll be corrupted soon, and we just sit back and watch the show. And that's Seraphina. I think she's onto us. We have to find a way to get rid of her." When the recording finished, the entire plaza was silent. Public shaming on a whole new level. Ava's face is greener than her tea. "Leo," I was at that moment terrified. "This is what we call a public execution." Ava was trembling. "It's fake. You faked it. Fake." I gestured to the sky where only I could see the comments. "Why don't you ask them if it's fake?" Though the cultivators couldn't see the chat, my confidence, combined with their own memories of Leo and Ava's past behavior, was more than enough. "Seize the traitors!" someone yelled, and the crowd surged forward. Leo and Ava screamed and tried to fight back, but they were easily subdued by a flick of Seraphina's ice sword. Leo and Ava were thrown into the sect's prison, but I knew it wasn't over. The chat had already spoiled that Leo was host to a sacred demon seed. Once it awakened, he would go full dark side and activate a world-ending ritual. The weakness of this demon seed was, of all things, the tears of a pure-hearted maiden. Cheesy. That is so cheesy. Is this some sappy romance novel? "Ethan, where the hell am I supposed to find a pure-hearted maiden?" "Incoming. The pure-hearted maiden is right beside you." I looked at Lily, who was currently stuffing her face with a bag of candy skewers, and fell into deep thought. This girl's only hobbies were eating and sleeping. How was she a pure-hearted maiden? I found out the day Leo broke out of prison, demonic energy pouring off him. He stared at me with crazed eyes. "Ethan, you ruined everything. Now I'll make the entire world pay." The world-ending array began to form, the sky turning dark. Even the light from Demon's Bane seemed to dim. The sword spirit yelled in my head, "Quick, get the pure-hearted maiden's tears. We're running out of time." I was panicking when I heard a loud wah. Lily's last candy skewer had fallen out of her hand and into the dirt. She stared at it, her lip trembling, and then tears started streaming down her face like a broken faucet. "My candy. Sniff. That was the last one." She cried with the heartbroken sorrow of true loss. Her tears hit the ground and began to glow with a faint golden light, which then drifted towards Leo. The demonic energy in his body instantly began to churn, and he let out a howl of pain. WTF. It actually worked. The tears of Foodie are the tears of the pure-hearted. "Leo, have I no dignity?" Defeated by a piece of candy on a stick? I stared for a second, then snapped out of it. "Sword Spirit. Now." Demon's Bane blazed with golden light, and I drove its purifying energy straight into Leo's chest. The demon seed hidden inside him was forced out and disintegrated into dust. Leo collapsed, the dark energy gone, his eyes clear for the first time in months. He looked at me and gave a bitter smile. I lost. I completely lost. As for Ava, her fate was even more satisfying. She escaped during the chaos and tried to find the remaining demon factions. But on the way, the pouch of poison powder she'd created years ago accidentally broke open, spilling all over her face. When she was captured again, her once beautiful face was a swollen, red mess of painful acne. The chat was unanimous. Karma's a witch. The green tea turned into a pizza face. She literally got a taste of her own medicine. Sentence her to copying scriptures for 100 years. Good for the skin and the soul. The sect elders sentenced her to a century of copying purifying texts in the disciplinary hall, forbidden to leave without my permission. Staring at her reflection in a bronze mirror, Ava was consumed by a regret so deep it was worthless. With Leo defeated and Ava imprisoned, the world-ending crisis was averted. The Celestial Summit held a grand ceremony to name me the world-saving Sword Saint and hand over leadership of the sect. Facing the adoring crowd, I just waved my hand dismissively. No, Sword Saint sounds like way too much work. All those meetings and paperwork. I'd rather just slack off. Haha, the Savior rejects the corporate ladder. Ethan, I just want to chill, not work. Seraphina, I can support you. Seraphina, standing beside me, heard my words. A rare smile touched her lips. The sect affairs are my responsibility. You can do whatever you wish. I looked at her, then at Lily, who was already holding a new snack and looking at me with wide eyes, and then thought of the sword's spirit in its sheath demanding more honey lavender wafers. I even thought of the goofy young master of the forging sect I befriended, who kept calling me Big Bro. Life like this was actually pretty good. I raised Demon's Bane high. I saved the world, but not so I could join the rat race. From this day forward, my crew and I are going to travel, see the sights, and eat all the best food this world has to offer. The chat went nuclear. All hail the Sword Saint. Wait, I mean the Grand Slacker. The chill crew has officially been formed. The harem is complete. The Ice Queen, the Foodie Girl, and the Snarky Sword. Perfect. Years later, a legend spread through the lands. It spoke of a mysterious traveling group, led by a sword saint who carried a legendary blade. He was always accompanied by a beautiful Ice Queen, a perpetually snacking young girl, and a sword that talked way too much. They didn't cultivate or seek power. They just wandered, enjoying the scenery and the local cuisine. Occasionally, some minor demon would get in their way. The sword saint would casually swing his blade, and the demon would vanish. Then the group would sit back down by the side of the road, munching on candy skewers and drinking fine spirits, without a care in the world. One afternoon, in a peach blossom forest in the northern wastes, I leaned against a tree, watching Seraphina brew tea. Lily was chasing a pink rabbit. The sword spirit was humming a tune from its sheath, and the young master from the forging sect was tinkering with his latest invention, a magical, self-rotating barbecue rack. A comment floated past my eyes. This is the life. Happy ending. He got the girl and the good life. Ethan, I was a villain. I saved the world, and I got the girl. Not bad. I smiled and popped a peach blossom pastry into my mouth. The sweet flavor melted on my tongue as I looked up at the drifting petals and at the smiling faces of the people I now called my family. Turns out, being the savior could be pretty awesome. The end.